Good evening, you are listening to CFRU 93.3 Campus Community Radio. Tonight we are doing a fill-in spot for the regular show from 7 to 8. Tonight in the studio we have myself, Braden Johnson. We also have Brian MacLeod, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Good evening, this is Brian MacLeod, a.k.a. Mac Vandal.
So tonight's show we are going to feature an artist, Paul MacLeod. He is a local artist that has been playing in Guelph for the last 15 years.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, and he's been playing here at Jimmy Jazz on Monday nights. He's actually playing tonight at the Jimmy Jazz, and we are going to do an interview with him, also feature a few of his songs before and after the interview. So thank you for tuning in, and Brian, if you would like to say anything else before the interview or the song. Sorry, what's the first song that we're going to be playing?
I believe the first song is called Ghosts.
Okay, perfect. Do you know what album it's from?
I'm not exactly sure, and okay. Paul's going to ream me out later for that, but this is a pre-recorded interview that recorded about a month and a half ago, standing out in front of the Jimmy Jazz, and it was my first interview, and we're ironing out all the kinks.
Great. Well, thank you for listening, and hope you enjoy the show.
Just a rumble from a thundercloud, cold air blowing on my skin. I'm hoping just a draft's coming. The shadows and shifting lights, tired eyes from the late, late night. Bones chilled on the warmest day. You can't just explain it all. I'll stop inviting you to be my bad ones. Having a color. I'm right beside you, wondering if you've ever known. My cheeks get hollow, and I'm feeling like I'm uninvited. Nobody told me I'm cruelty. It gets lonely at times, cruelty. But I wear it well within myself, and I'm all the rage now. On the crest of time's tide, surfing to an end that's so deserving of me, but well beneath you, holding on to seem so certain. As the fabric tears, I'm ruining, and wearing still the same charade. I walk away in years of contact. Why don't you bother telling me I'm something I already know? My cheeks get hollow, and I'm feeling like I'm uninvited. Nobody told me I'm cruelty. It gets lonely at times, cruelty. But I wear it well within myself, and I'm all the rage now.
All right. This is Brian McNeil downtown with Paul MacLeod, performing tonight at Jimmy Jazz. And so how you been, Paul?
I've been great, Brian. Always good to see you, and this will be fun.
All right. Let's just get right to the questions, because Braden's only got so much time on his show. Oh, by the way, this is for CFRU Radio 93.3, campus radio in Guelph. All right, so give us your thoughts on your new album that's coming out soon.
The next one is almost as stripped down as the live one I recorded in Edmonton. No title as of yet, but it was recorded in one night about 2 months ago, so the very early fall, and then mixed the next night, and it's just being mastered right now, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. And yeah, that's about where we're at with it. So I'll be releasing it with Busted Flat Records again, and start heading east in January, February for a bit, and then another quick trip out east in March, April. So that's the plan for that so far, but things will be added to it and hopefully not taken away, but you never know.
Right on. So can you compare for us your new album to your previous albums?
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, this one was, I guess this one was more based on, I had a bunch of songs accumulated over the last few years that I didn't really know what to do with, because there was a wider variety of material. I've made 4 solo records, 4 with the Skydiggers, 1 with Ibakusha, and had a chance to outlet many different things as a songwriter on some of those, and then as a player and support musician with the Skydiggers, you know, learn a lot, and this record was going literally back away from all of that, as much as I still love doing it, and just right down to a song. I've just been touring. I toured Canada over the last 18 months. Lucas Stagg, Lynn Jackson, and I did lots of dates together. And it was just myself and the guitar, and so I guess based on that, it only made sense to go in and kind of represent what had been going on for the last 18 months. And it also didn't hurt that CBC Radio picked up on Annalisa from the previous record and got a lot of airplay and changed things for me in a very positive direction. And one of the things I noticed about the choices they'd made over the years was the rawest thing was, so it all seemed, the timing seemed right for that, and then I guess we'll see when I put it out if there's anything that can catch on like Annalisa again and make that much touring worthwhile.
Very good, very good. So overall, what is your favorite venue or show or performance that you've ever been part of all time?
Well, the first thing that will always come to mind is as a skydigger, I played the Air Canada Centre New Year's Eve 1999, rolling over to the new millennium, or I'm sorry if I've offended anyone with the zeros or the 01. I don't really know the argument well, but as far as an important New Year's Eve in your life, and they're easier to remember than other days, they're holidays, so that was pretty great to play at the Air Canada Centre, thanks to the Skydiggers, of course, and my good friend Danny Michelle was there with Starling, so that was a good moment for us because we crisscrossed dates and shows together for years, and he's just absolutely phenomenal and doing incredibly well, and so that comes to mind quickly. But shows, boy, I've had great nights at the Black Sheep Inn in Wakefield, Quebec. It's just outside of Ottawa. I mean, most people would actually consider it booking an Ottawa date when they played it. The old Commercial Tavern in Maryhill is something I miss quite a bit. The old Albion Hotel here in Guelph, when I know it's still running, and I don't, I mean, no offense to the people currently running it, but an old memory for me is there with Simon and playing with bands like the Waltons and that. So it's really hard to say. I've had good times, and I like the Railway Club in Vancouver, Montreal, the Seahorse in Halifax. I had a great night opening for a killer band, and I don't know, there's so many rooms, but the first thing that always comes to mind is the Air Canada Centre, maybe just the grandeur of the whole thing more than anything else.
Very good, very good. So who do you look up to most musically?
Wow. I guess that's an ever-changing thing. The more I learn about people, then also ever-changing in the opposite direction the more you learn about people. So currently I can't say. Pete Townsend was always, the Who was it for me as a kid growing up. Nothing beat that meaty beady big and bouncy record to me, As a kid, I just thought that's what that was a record. I didn't realize it was a collection of songs. I see, that's a good record. Yeah, no shit. But that was it. I really liked the Who, so I really like Pete Townsend's songs, and I just really like the energy of that. Then when I was writing music and going and seeing and then getting the chance to open for bands that I like to listen to, the first thing that struck me as just being something that seemed to come from Mars was the Rio Statics, and so I gained this admiration for what to me at the time seemed so far outside the box, and who would even conceive of this, and so for me that was my first experience with a band that people have heard all throughout their lives. That was just the timing for me to hear that band, so I always looked up to those guys, and always the Who and Pete Townsend, but it changes all the time. There's so many things I like, and I couldn't possibly say what my I could. It's a tough one to answer, but those are the two constants anyways.
All right. Who do you prefer to write music with, and why?
Well, I can't say I've had as much experience as most people writing with other people. I've written with a handful of people over the years, but I guess instead of naming people, I'd say something more. I guess I prefer to write with singers, and I mean, anyone who sings, I guess, sings is a singer. But I mean in the sense that someone who melodically offers you a much bigger range to work off, and offers you possibilities of phrasing, and the doors opened up if you're working with someone with a bigger vocal range. There's a lot more you can do. And sometimes that's, it's something I really like, but sometimes, that's the wrong thing. Sometimes the simplest, shortest thing is. So I wouldn't say a preference, but again, in the perfect setting, someone with a massive range, there's nothing you can't try.
Who is your favorite artist that you've ever shared a stage with? Band or a single artist?
Rio Statics and Martin TLE. Skydiggers was and is always a big thrill for me. I'm huge fans of them as people, which, as I got older, became, incredibly important to me. I've had some luck with opening sets here and there over the years, and then all the Skydiggers shows. There have been so many things. I really like the Tragically Hip turned me into a massive fan for a band I had probably only heard the occasional track from for 2 years, and I always knew they were a great live band because I'd seen them before, but I got sucked in like you wouldn't believe the last time I saw them. So, geez, man, Blue Rodeo was always like those Skydiggers gigs, I got to see things like bands that I'd not so much even give a second's thought to, and as a fan, and then I would stand there and watch them play live and go, oh, well, all these people are great. Each thing they do, they seem to know it better. They're so self-aware of what they do well that it's just great. So I'd have to say that I really, again, I hate to seem so wishy-washy for you. It's just so hard, and because there really is no one to slag. I've never played a show. Lowest of the Low and Ron Hawkins over like a 18-year period. We had a great talk about that. One of the first shows I ever did was opening for Lowest of the Low, and then Buffalo a few years ago I played with Ron Hawkins, then Starlight Waterloo. We're sitting for the next show talking away about look how long that's been, and I'm flattered, that he's remembered that. So shit, I found it all a really positive thing. I couldn't, I don't know, next week I might have a different answer for you if I meet someone else, but yeah.
Okay. To switch things up a little bit, what type of guitar do you use?
Okay, well, yeah, I'll just tell you the whole rig that's set up right now. That's a 1966 Fender Telecaster. Nice. That was given to me by the Skydiggers when I joined. Josh Finlayson, the guitar player, songwriter in the band, basically said, they wanted me to play. I didn't have my own electric at the time, and I had an acoustic guitar that we were all pretty much in love with as far as its sound was, and so the building blocks of that were great. They liked my playing. I toured Canada with them about 2.5 times at the point that they asked me to join in '96, and so that was the guitar. He just, he said, well, check out some guitars. That was his preference, and so I was smart enough to know that tonally he wanted something, and if he said that was his preference, that was the guitar. And I didn't like the way it looked at all. I didn't know anything about electric guitars, to be honest with you, in 1996. So not that I know a great deal about them now, but I certainly knew nothing. And so I took it home, played it, and just one day when Andy Mays, the lead singer and a writer of Skydiggers, we talked about you can go do the solo set with just, we were recording one of my sets in Edmonton, which became an album called Tell the Band to Go Home, at the Sidetrack Cafe. And I remember that really well because the Florida Panthers were in town playing the Oilers, and the drummer Joel Anderson came back and pointed out, hey, the Panthers, there's a bunch of Panthers in the audience. So Kirk Muller was there, and I always liked Kirk Muller. Yeah, I don't know Kirk Muller or anything about him. I think if I can go back as far as junior, maybe Peterborough, but I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan, so he wore number 11 when he played for them and was instrumental in some successes that they had, minor ones, but he's incredible. So anyways, that was the night where we were talking about just record the acoustic, do whatever, and then Andy Mays basically said, well, it's the Telecaster, it's your guitar, you got to use that, your hands are in there. And at that point I'd realized that I'd really developed this guitar and a tone. And so the guitar is a 66 American, like an original Telecaster. The amp is a Kendrick Black Gold. Those are considered in a class of amps called boutique amps. It's an incredible amp. I won't be as boring with the story, but again, through Phil Presnell of the Skydiggers, I have a Kendrick amp, which is insane because I'm pretty sure Canadian at the time that amp was set in front of my feet to plug in and play. They're probably about $24.99 or something like that. Canadian dollars, $29.99. I don't know. $2,500 at least. The price is certainly down, but at the time, so just the combo of that was I got lucky. So how do you at that point you learn how to develop tone and that, but it's the gear too. I learned, and most people don't get to get gear like that just dumped in their lap. So
Next question, generally how much do you spend when you make an album?
Well, that's varied. The Hibakusha record, I would imagine, for that record, Maple Music paid for the mastering, and I would imagine even the mastering has cost more than the records I've made. I've made 2 records in the neighborhood of $500, but they're just myself and a guitar doing performances. I've been part of records that have cost $20,000-$25,000, and everything in between, out of being an integral part of maybe 10 CDs of my life, and then a guest musician on countless others. I'd put it all in that range. And then, I don't know. It still all comes down to the performance, no matter where it is. But there's still something to be said for tuned rooms and great studios and great engineers that when it's right, it's at a level that you don't hear otherwise. So, yeah.
Right on. What is your writing process?
Music first. I just find parts on the guitar or the piano, or I'll hum a part. I do a lot of lyric writing on my bicycle rides because I try to ride at tempo, so I'll choose a rhythm and count that out like 4s if that's the groove or whatever it is, and then think of ideas because I'll work up the parts melodically and chordally and keep working on them, and then when ideas hit me, I'll just the continued process of building up a chord melody piece will start to give me imagery, and I usually just keep feeling that until something really overwhelms me, and then I probably like a lot of people, when I get an idea, it's just time to open your mouth and see what comes out, or type and see whatever it is you're doing, laptop, pen and a book, whatever. But for me, it's always music melody first. I don't think yet I've ever taken a full piece of writing, sat down with it, and then made it a song. So that's something I should probably try, just to change things up.
Right on. How important do you find the relationship between bands and the house sound technician?
Oh, yeah. And then again, this had come up before. It's huge. Live playing, it's really important for people to just, be as accommodating as possible, and It's something you end up seeing a lot of on the road. Is just it can be chalked up to inexperience, but you're in the hands of your house techs, and if you can't seem to at least be civil and strike up decent dialogue with them, then at least just keep your mouth shut and do what they say. There's just your life's in their hands for those moments. I mean, your set can die on the stage if they're listening, going, well, I could do some further tweaking, but this guy, this prick was 30 minutes late and interrupted me 5 times and kept playing his guitar when I asked for 10 minutes of silence. And it only gets worse when a band sets up, and if a house tech says, everybody shut up, I need to hear the snare drum, then everyone shuts up and the drummer should hit the snare drum. But it's remarkable the number of times you witness that not happen. And so you're in live, it's house techs. If you're not in a position to travel with your own front of house sound man, if financially that isn't something you can do, then you just be a good person, show up on time, do exactly what you're asked to do, and if you need to change something, ask. And it's really simple. It's just these people they're there longer than you, they're there before you, and they're there after you've packed up and left, because they have to pack all the shit up that you just used to play through in many venues. So it's really important. I'd say your own performance is tantamount to what kind of mood you can keep the front of house sound person, and that is paramount, I think.
What is your favorite song that you've written, and why?
Man, that's tough. Out of my own songs, it's hard to think of anything I've done in terms of a favorite.
Okay, what do you prefer to perform?
I guess Annalisa was the easiest, most flowing thing that's ever come out of me, so that might be it for just that reason. It's always trying to capture something honestly and not really get in the way and think about it. It should, it's kind of once an idea exists in its infancy for someone writing songs, that I'm not writing an opus or a string quartet piece, or whatever the idea is if that's any good, everything else around it should write itself. It should be like framework. It should be common sense at that point, what the rest of it should do. When you overthink it and interfere, perhaps to make it quirky or more original, all you're doing is tampering with the vibe of an idea that came to you and came out of you. So I guess I'd say that, because it's the closest to that feeling of like that song wrote itself. I had that guitar part lying around and just didn't know what to do, and those lyrics, I swear I had to edit 3 things that just didn't make sense by the time I'd written them down. That's how easily that came out. But it came out of a long month of working on parts and ideas. It's not like it just I rolled over in a bed and it showed up. It was out of discipline of making myself available to those ideas.
Right on. Okay, here's a fun one. Of all the many places you've performed, what's your favorite food establishment and item?
That's a great one. For years, it used to be the Nan in Vancouver. I can't remember the wall sign, and I'm not a vegetarian by any means, but this place, Gavin Brown, drummer, took me there on a tour. He's an incredible guy, Gavin Brown. If you look him up, he's probably most recently famous for producing the what the hell are those? He produces the Billy Talent records. He produced 2 of them, or the first one, or anything. But he's just an incredible musician. He took me there, and there was this bowl with tofu, carrots, and all sorts of, I don't know, you'd have to ask somebody who knows their food. But aside from that, the food is, man.
Montreal smoked meat.
Yeah, thank you for help. Well, yeah, I should have said that right away. Thanks for reminding me. Schwartz's, and it's also in the last few times I've been in Montreal, I played Barfly, so it's about a half a kilometer up Saint Laurent to go there and get that. So that's a favorite. That I go out of my way for. But any town, the growing number of Vietnamese restaurants is pretty impressive. So that'll do it pretty much anywhere. To me, that's a good sign that food's everywhere, because I'm from Kitchener, and that food's been in Kitchener since I was born in 1970, so I can remember those restaurants in the early 80s, and it was just, that food's great food, so, but yeah, thanks for reminding me. Schwartz's would be the pick, that's for sure. All right,
this is Brian McNeil for CFRU 93.3 Radio, downtown with Paul MacLeod.
You are listening to 93.3 CFRU FM. That was Paul MacLeod. If you would like to reach Paul, you can go to paulmacleod.com. We're going to play a couple more tracks by Paul, and after that, we're going to introduce the artist that we're bringing on in 2 weeks' time at 7 o'clock. It is Theo Sims, but for now, we're just going to play some more Paul MacLeod.
The phone and Elisa, turn up that old radio. Let down your hair and Elisa, we gon' dance all night long. I got a letter from the prison, it looks like your boy's coming home. It's just 3 years this summer, they put your poor boy away. Now 3 years and a season from when he cut down that old man. I guess a life in Elisa ain't worth a whole lot these days. So let him in, won't you, Lisa? Don't let him out of your sight. And when he comes, make him easy, but don't let him stay out all night. I don't see how, darling Lisa, 3 years could fix him up right. He's going back in, Elisa, you know he'll go back in someday. He'll break the heart of his mother over and over again. This I can't bear, darling Lisa, to watch you just give it away. It's in his eyes and Elisa, cold as the blade on his arm. He doesn't love, does he, Lisa? The boy only means to do harm. And I can't stay if he's round here. You can't trust a man with no heart. So let him in, won't you, Lisa? Don't let him out of your sight. And when he comes, make him easy, but don't let him stay out all night. I don't see how, darling Lisa, 3 years could fix him up right. So put down the phone and Elisa, and turn up that old radio. Let down your hair and Elisa, we gon' dance one last song. I got a letter from the prison, it looks like your boy's coming home. No, I can't wait to go back to Harlem, where a good soul can roll on two wheels. Let the north rain wash you down into Flanders. Take away pain, my baby, leave. It was Christmas time when she told me I was a maybe. and I was too young to have a say in what was mine. Now we're far too old to sit here feeling sorry. Oh, and let another day just roll on by.
So that was Paul MacLeod, 2 songs by Paul MacLeod. First one called Annalisa, and the second song called Holland, for the Bright Eyes Fade album with Busted Flat Records. More on Paul MacLeod. He's going to be continuing on his tour in Ontario at the Acoustic Grill in Picton, Ontario on January 28th. So if you want to go out and support Paul, make your way out to Picton. And
again, if you'd like to reach Paul, you can go to paulmacleod.com, or you can check him out at the Jimmy Jazz Monday nights, which is actually tonight. So if you're listening and you're around and you can make it out tonight and you want to see a great show performed by Paul, it's always a good time.
Always a good time.
Always a good time to see Paul play. And so next up we have a small spotlight introducing Theo Sims. He's a local...
Or Theo Simpson.
Theo Simpson, I guess he's going by now. He actually plays at the Woolwich Arms, and he performs around Guelph quite often. So next week we'll have the interview with Theo, but for now we're just going to play a couple of his songs just to give you a feel of where he's coming from and his music. So first up... go ahead.
That was a fun interview. I had the chance to sit down with Theo, who I've known for a good number of years, and we just it was really relaxing, chilling. He ate an apple and I had a tea, and I just relaxed at Coco Latte in the mall downtown.
Yeah, Paul's a good guy to talk to. If you can ever get a chance to sit down and have a drink with him, he's an interest. He's as interesting as his music. That's for sure.
Paul is a fun guy.
He loves to talk, which is perfect for doing an interview with him. So yeah, we have Theo Sims with the song Cocoon.
93.3 CFRU.
Sorry, we just had a bit of a technical difficulty with the song there. We'll just play one more song by Paul, and till we can get Theo Sims up, if that's all right with you, Brian.
Well, how about since we don't have anything queued up, I'm just gonna read something really interesting that I got in my email the other day, and some of you might agree with some of this, some of you might not, but
some interesting historical facts. If you've ever wondered where this is a little bit off the line of the music, but this is some interesting stuff here. If you've ever wondered where certain terms come that we use in everyday life, there's actually a good, interesting history behind them. So,
yeah, all right. So I'm going to get into it. The email was just titled "Interesting History," and it gets right into facts. So, fact number 1. Here we go. They used to use urine to tan animal skins, so families used to pee in a pot, and then once a day it was taken and sold to the tannery. If you had to do this to survive, you were piss poor. But worse than that, if the really poor folk couldn't afford a pot, They have no pot to piss in, and therefore were the lowest of the low. So the next time you are washing your hands and complain because the water temperature isn't just how you like it, think about how things used to be. Here are some facts about the 1500s. Most people got married in June because they took their yearly bath in May, and they still smelled pretty good by June. However, since they were all starting to smell, brides carried a bouquet of flowers to hide the body odor. Hence the custom today of carrying a bouquet when getting married. In the 1500s, baths consisted of a big tub filled with hot water. The man of the house had the privilege of the nice clean water, then all other sons and men, then the women, and finally the children. Last of all, the babies. By then, the water was so dirty you could actually lose someone in it, hence the saying, "Don't throw the baby out with the bath water." and it continues. So houses back then had thatched roofs, that's thick straw, piled high with no wood underneath. It was the only place for animals to get warm, so all the cats and other animals, like mice and other bugs, lived in the roof. When it rained, it became slippery, and sometimes the animals would slip and fall off the roof, hence the saying, "It's raining cats and dogs." I don't really know about that one. There was nothing to stop things from falling into the house. This posed a real problem in the bedroom where bugs and other droppings could mess up your nice clean bed. Hence, a bed with big posts and a sheet hung over the top. That afforded some protection. That's how canopy beds came into existence. The floor was dirt. Only the wealthy had something other than dirt. Hence the saying, "dirt poor." The wealthy had slate floors that would get slippery in the winter when wet, so they spread thresh, or straw, on the floor to keep their footing. As the winter wore on, they added more thresh until, when you opened the door, it would all start slipping outside. A piece of wood was placed in the entranceway, hence we have the threshold. Quite educational, and I'm going to continue. All right. So in those days, they cooked in the kitchen with a big kettle that always hung over the fire. Every day they lit the fire and added things to the pot. They ate mostly vegetables and did not get much meat. They would eat the stew for dinner, leaving leftovers in the pot to get cold overnight and then start over the next day. Sometimes stew had food in it that had been there for quite a while. Hence the rhyme, "Peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold, peas porridge in the pot 9 days old." Sometimes they could obtain pork, which made them feel quite special. When visitors came over, they would hang up their bacon to show it off. It was a sign of wealth that a man could literally bring home the bacon, so they would cut off a little to share with guests and would literally sit around chewing the fat. Those with money had plates made of pewter. That's not exactly the best thing to eat off, eh? What do you think? Food with high acid content caused some of the lead to leach onto the food, causing lead poisoning death. This happened most often with tomatoes, so for the next 400 years or so, tomatoes were actually considered poisonous. Bread was divided into status. Workers got the burnt bottom of the loaf, the family got the middle, and guests got the top or the upper crust. Lead cups were used to drink ale or whiskey. The combination would sometimes knock the drunks out for a couple days. Someone walking along the road would take them for dead and prepare them for burial. They were laid out on the kitchen table of loved ones for a couple days, and the family would gather around, eat and drink, and wait to see if they might wake up. Hence the custom for holding a wake. And it gets better. England is old and small, and the local folks started running out of places to bury people. So they would dig up coffins and would take the bones to a bone house and reuse the grave. When reopening these coffins, 1 out of 25 coffins were found to have scratch marks on the inside, and they realized that they had been burying people alive. So they would tie a string to the wrist of the corpse, lead it through the coffin and up through the ground and tie it to a bell. Someone would have to sit out in the graveyard all night, hence the graveyard shift, to listen for the bell. Thus, someone could be saved by the bell or was considered a dead ringer. And the only reference I have for anybody,
I really hope they didn't get the name for that show from that. From that, they possibly could have though. But thanks, Brian, for those interesting historical facts of terms that we use every day, and we don't know where they come from. I guess.
Thanks, Dave, for sending me the email.
Yeah. So going back, we We can't play any Theo Sims for you today. We will play him in 2 weeks' time, though. But for now, we're actually going to play Common Grackle. He is actually performing this Friday at Jimmy Jazz with Louis Logic and Seski. And the show is a free show, and he's a really good artist. And so I'm going to play a couple of his songs for you. The first song is Thank God It's Monday, actually featuring Cool Keith. Thank you for listening, and hope you enjoy.
Monday nights are mine. I know there's never a line. Tuesday nights are fun. Every weekend I stay inside. All you honeys give a little honey to your homeboy. Nobody wants to be the homeboy in my skin. All you skinny puppies give it up. What you asking? Everybody's trying to get a piece and then some. The head inside my head, the head inside my head says that's yourself. Brain inside my brain, the brain inside my brain can't make nothing now. The head inside my head, the head inside my head says it's yourself. She's not feeling she don't. Open up the door for no one else. Taking my girl for a walk. I think about eating in a restaurant. I think about doing everything that I want, but I stay inside, 'cause it's Friday. The head inside my head, the head inside my head says it's yourself. Brain inside my brain, the brain inside my brain can't think of nothing now. The head inside my head, the head inside my head says it's yourself. She's not feeling strong. Ain't gonna open the door for no one else.
I could party on Monday, make it Saturday, that's my way, even if it's without a holiday. The sweetest things of dates and days. The first of the week is when I gravitate to heat. My trend is elite. The beginning is where the wine pour. I dine more, upscale it, put the lyrics up and retail it. It's all press permanent. Monday is the element. I'm here for the occasion. I dress to the extent. Sunset of Broadway. We party on Monday. Advertise, you see the display. Ladies leave later. I party. Some start work on that day. MONDA. Why? Because I told you. Direct you to the place, the after party to go to.
There's a lot of ugly women at my favorite bar. The sidewalk feels crowded and there's kids in the park. I'm just a little minnow, all these people are sharks. Oh, thank God when it's Monday nights are mine. Monday nights are mine. I know there's never a line. Tuesday nights are fun. Every weekend I stay inside.
That was Common Grackle with Thank God It's Monday featuring Cool Keith off the album The Great Depression. Next we have Churchill's Black Dog.
They're all grinning, Jack Nicholsoning. Black dogs are picking up the scent. Now I'm singing all about how I wanna die. Look into my eyes, I wanna die. Cold and indifferent, I wanna die. Look into my eyes, I wanna die. Cold and indifferent, see it all.
Hours of concert.
Well, no, I don't know. No, I don't know, man. It has been a weird show. What did we say?
What were we talking about?
This motherfucker got rhythm. Got rhythm. Girl, this motherfucker got rhythm.
trying to dentist, but doors are always left and faces and cookies were pushing to the prettiest of places. Workers wasted on the porch again. It's the first of the month, here's the mailman. You're only really revolutionaries when you're eating. If you're not, you'll suck up the box for job slots on weekends. Happy stupid fucking mouth. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, but I had a bad year. Keyboard cut out, hanging on the walls of heads of ex-girlfriends. It's just a great depression I'm going through. Let's all get down with the times. There's a holy grail we could find. Straight Jolie, put money in the bank and take the surly off my mind. Money is a must. It's just a great depression I'm going through. Let's all get down with the times. There's a holy grail we can find. Straight Jolie, put money in the bank and take the surly off my mind.
So you're back with Mac Vandal, aka Brian McNeil, and Braden Dexter Johnson. We don't really have a name for our show yet.
It's because we don't really have a show. We're just doing a fill-in right now.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I want to say thanks for everybody listening in to our interview with Paul MacLeod and the Great Depression album by Common Grackle.
Yeah, he was doing a show this Friday. This should be a great show. If you like hip hop, if you don't like hip hop, you'll enjoy the show. I'm sure if you're a fan of music and appreciate good independent indie artists doing their thing.
Yeah, and listening to those last couple songs, it reminded me of Run with the Kittens. Run with the Kittens, one of my favorite bands. I was fortunate enough to interview the guys, and what a great bunch of guys. So we're going to be having some awesome interviews coming up for you guys in the weeks to come. Some Nate Coles, the rapper Decisive, some local rap artists like Barnabizzle, and many more. And
yeah, the Run with the Kittens interview, stay tuned for that. We don't have a date yet, but
Joni Mitchell. Oh,
yeah.
Great artists.
And Joni Narita, we have an interview with her.
Joni Narita. I said Joni Mitchell.
Close enough, but yeah, Joni Narita. She's a great artist. She does a lot of great jazz covers in her own original soul and jazz music. She also plays in Guelph regularly
every Tuesday.
At the Red Papaya. Yeah, so if you go check her out if you like jazz music, if you like local music, independent artists.
And to anybody who's interested in being interviewed, if you're an artist, singer, songwriter, part of a band, or a manager, you can contact me directly at Brian CFRU. That's Brian with a Y, BRYAN CFRU, all one word, at gmail.com.
Yeah, if you'd like to do an interview, if you're a local artist, we do spotlights on any local artist that wants to be on the show, and we'll set up an interview with you, and we'll feature your music and talk about if you'd like to come into the studio too and do an interview. If you're a local artist, we'd love to have you.
Or if you just want us to come out and do an interview live at your show, that's actually what we've been doing for the most part so far. And we really hope to hear from artists who want to get their material out there.
Yeah, so
closing down, winding down.
That's about it. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back actually in 2 weeks' time from today, Monday at 7 o'clock. And thanks for listening. This is CFRU 93.3 FM Campus Community Radio.
This song is for liberty. This song is so we can be free. This song is what we know. Oppression is a crime and it must go.
You're listening to CFRU FM 93.3 from University of Guelph.
Women of the world, stand up and fight. Now is the time to claim our rights. Color's not an issue in this fight. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. This song is for liberty. This song is so we can be free. This song.
CFRU 93.3 FM is turning 31 years old this week, and to celebrate, we're bringing you a couple of shows. On Friday, January 28th, Guelph band The Magic will be playing a free noon-hour concert in the University Centre courtyard. And then, on Saturday, January 29th, Montreal up-and-comers Braids will be performing along with live-action Fez at Ed Video Media Arts Centre. Ed Video is located at 40 Baker Street downtown and is an accessible space. The show starts at 9 p.m. and cover is $8 to $10. Come out and join us for our birthday. For more info, visit cfru.ca.
Escucha todos los